going on, everyone? We got to talk about Bitcoin today because I know everybody sees that we're down 10% in the last 24 hours on Bitcoin. Absolutely crazy volatility. Right now we're at 81.9K and it just keeps dumping. So I'm going to talk about what I think is about to happen next here inside of crypto. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's go straight over this. So currently, Bitcoin is doing very bad, down 10% in the last 24 hours, 15% in the last week, 18% in the last 2 weeks, 23% in the last 30 days, and 16.5% in the last year. So that's just absolutely crazy right now. And yeah, I didn't think it would get this bad, but it is. And right now, the crypto fear greed index is at 11. So that is pretty bad. And around these times is typically when you want to buy. But me personally, for disclaimer, I have not bought yet. I do not plan on buying yet because what I'm looking for is the bottom of the previous run, which is around 75K. And the reason why I'm looking at that is because here on the weekly chart, when you bring up the percent R trend exhaustion here, you see here that this short-term trend, the white line down here, has now slightly passed the barrier that I had set down there. So we have broken out of the trend that we've been in since the beginning of 2024. So since we've just now broken out of that trend, remember my last Bitcoin video, I said if we break down below this, then I'm really concerned because that means the short-term trend is probably going to come all the way down here to the bottom. And then the long-term trend is probably going to come about down halfway. And then the short-term trend is going to come up. And then the price is going to surge. So remember what I said in the last video. Definitely watch all the Bitcoin videos that I've been saying because it's kind of scary how accurate I have been on this. But what we are seeing here, I did think that I thought that we're going to stop at 85K. But then I started to change my view as time started to go because, yeah, we did not stop at 85K. And we're actually still going. And this is kind of crazy because, again, I think 75K is about to be that level that we're going to reach. A lot of selling pressure here on the MACD. So that looks pretty bad as well. And then when you come over here to the daily chart, you can just see all that selling pressure on the MACD. A lot of selling. We have overselling on the percent R trend exhaustion. So oversold areas there. So we're also coming down to an 81K support here. And how I came up with these supports is just different areas on the last pump where we stopped at that were significant to the drops. So this area looked pretty significant. That looked pretty significant. That looked pretty significant up here as well. And that's exactly why we're stopping at 81K because 81K was one of those minor support areas. Well, it was support for us. So as we can see here, we're using it as support. And then if we come down a little further, we have 78K. And then if we come down a little further, we have 76. I'm willing to bet that it goes to 75K. 75K was not only the bottom of the previous rally, but it was almost the top of this one back here. So I think we're going to be good to stop at 75K. I'm not 100% sure. No one is. Anything can happen at this point. But yeah, I think we're on the way down to 75K because it is not slowing down right now. And this is the time where dollar cost averaging is actually nice because you don't know if it's going to keep going down. But personally, that's not the way I trade. I get in and I get out. I scalp the market. All right. So I get in and I get out. So I don't really care to buy and then hold for a long time. I'm in and out. So, you know, I'm in with fast moves. So I don't really care for doing that strategy. So anyways, at 11 crypto fear greed index, that's crazy. But behind the scenes, there is a lot of stuff going on that people just aren't seeing. And it's because all the red is like making people blind. But the Congressman of the United States of America, Congressman Warren Davidson, introduces Bitcoin for America Act, proposes federal tax-free payments in Bitcoin. So you can literally pay your taxes tax-free in Bitcoin. That is actually crazy that they have that inside of the laws now inside of America. This tells you where things are going. If the federal government wants your Bitcoin, because they're going to put it in a strategic fund. As you can see here, Representative Warren Davidson introduced the Bitcoin for America Act today, letting Americans pay taxes in Bitcoin to a fund, a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the government. So if the government wants us to pay our taxes in Bitcoin, it's because they see the value in it. And when I say this, I'm not talking about altcoins. Honestly, altcoins don't hold the same value as Bitcoin because you can just create any old altcoin, but Bitcoin is the original one. So all the altcoins that I talk about every day, like I see those as good trades, like trading, but that's not what you want to hold forever and ever and just hold it. Like Bitcoin is what you want to be holding, right? Bitcoin is the real digital gold. Like that's what you really want to be holding. But when it comes to trading, you can trade altcoins, but you shouldn't be focused on holding stuff like Baby Doge and all this other stuff. Like you don't want to hold those things forever. Those are good for trading. But Bitcoin, you take your profits from your trading with the altcoins and you put your profits into Bitcoin. That's really how everyone does it. But anyways, let's keep going over this. So as you can see here, Davidson introduced today the Bitcoin for America Act in the U.S. House of Representatives, a landmark proposal designed to modernize the U.S. financial system and position the nation at the forefront of the global digital asset economy. The bill would allow Americans to pay federal taxes in Bitcoin, with all proceedings deposited into a newly created strategic Bitcoin reserve. By allowing taxpayers to pay federal taxes in Bitcoin and directing those funds into a strategic Bitcoin reserve, the nation gains a tangible asset that appreciates over time. Unlike the US dollar, which is susceptible to inflation, Davidson said, the bill strengthens the nation's financial foundation and positions the US to lead, not follow, in the global race toward sound money and digital innovation. So this is so huge because everybody knows that Bitcoin is going to be the future of money. Like this, it's the new digital gold. People are looking at it. The US dollar is losing value. Like it's kind of crazy, but this is the future. Like people are all going to be putting their money into it. And look, we just broke 81K down to 80K. I'm telling you guys, we're probably going to end up getting, if we don't get all the way down to 75K, we have 78K. And then we have 76K, and then we have 75. So that's what I'm watching out for. And then the top of the last rally was 74K, well 73 technically. And then the bottom of the last rally was around 50. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell where exactly this is gonna stop at. But I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it and saying, "Hey, we're going all the way down to 30K." I don't think we're gonna do like a 30K drop. But if you look at the monthly chart though for Bitcoin, you have to ask yourself the question: is Bitcoin topped out? Right? Because as you can see here, it's overbought and it's pulling back and it's dumping. This is the percent R trend exhaustion. When this last happened inside of 2021, you've seen how it crashed huge. Then it had the relief rally, and then the crash continued. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think we're crashing, and we're probably going to stop somewhere around this area here, kind of like how last time was around that same area. And it's funny how it lines up, and that's the area that I drew out. I drew that myself on the weekly chart because I noticed this pattern, and it's kind of funny how it's all playing out. And I was literally preaching this back in April. I remember just preaching this theory all the way back there. Like people were calling me crazy, but look, it came to fruition. But now we're kind of continuing downwards. I thought we would bounce from here and then have a rally, but it doesn't seem that way. It seems we're gonna crash at like 75K and then have a rally. But like I was saying, if we come over here to the monthly chart on Bitcoin, you can see that the MACD is starting to have some selling pressure showing. We're going to see some nasty selling. And you can also come over here and see not the weekly chart, but also on the monthly chart, we also had the percent R trend exhaustion. So like I said before, I think if we are to do something similar to what we did before, then somewhere around here should be the bottom, hypothetically, before the relief rally, right? But I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. It is kind of hard to tell. So I don't know when that relief rally is going to come, because it won't hit this until like 60K. Like that's kind of how it's looking. So it is a little bit hard to tell. So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't go all the way down there. And maybe it stops like where it is kind of now instead of going that far down. And maybe when we hit like 75K, like around here, we see that bounce, that relief rally bounce, right? And we don't know how strong the relief rally will be. So don't try to hold out, and then you might just see it completely dump for there and then just be down for years, a whole year until 2027. So prepare for the worst. This is definitely not going to be good. This is going to be a relief rally, and I think the top of Bitcoin actually might be in. But I think that this relief rally could possibly bring us up to almost 100K, possibly. Like people that might think that, hey, the top's not in, and we get a double top like before. Like it's kind of funny how the tops of Bitcoin usually end up being double tops. So we could rally back up and possibly hit 124, 125K again. Or maybe we go up a little bit higher to 130K and then have a drop. Because look, the last time in 2021, you can see when we did that that initial rally, we thought that was everything when we got up to 62K, and then when we crashed all the way down to 30K. That's more than halfway down, and then we came all the way back up to 69K. Like, and then if you come back to even further and you look at like 2018, it kind of does the same thing. It does this double top thing. So when I'm looking at it from this perspective, I think that the top either is A, already in, or B, not in yet, and we're only going to get a little bit above it and then we'll crash again. But this relief, either way, I think the relief rally is about to come soon. So that's what I'm really waiting for, is the relief rally for Bitcoin. And my personal strategy here, again, I said I'm in and out. I'm not risking my money on this. I'm in and out. I have a very safe strategy for trading inside of the stock market, doing options to where I can make safely 5% 5 days a week and 30 days or in 20 days a month, which is 100% a month. So I'm not worried about crypto, but I'm definitely doing a safe strategy because, yeah, I don't want to be too dangerous here with this because, as you can see, it just keeps coming down and down and down. But honestly, the end is probably near. This is actually one of the largest candlesticks, actually the largest candlestick on any weekly chart for Bitcoin, for the selling candlesticks. So there might be a larger one like way earlier, but none of them had this amount of money in it other than the first time. Like, come back here, and this kind of shows you something. Come back here and look at this. Like when you look at May of 2021, and you look at how much this has dropped by. You can take it from here all the way to the bottom, right there. So it's about a 50% drop for that one candlestick. For that one candlestick alone is a 50% drop, and that's the month. This is the monthly chart, so it means in 1 month it dropped 50%. So if we see Bitcoin continuing to go down, we're now seeing a huge candlestick that we have never ever seen before. So if you look at this and you bring it all the way down to the bottom, it's only 26%, and the month isn't over yet. If we go down to 75K Bitcoin, now the candlestick for this month of November of 2025 is 32%. But remember, the last one was 50%. Like, this was a 50% drop. So, like, you've seen it go from 60K all the way down to 30K on one candlestick. On one candlestick. We've seen it before. So it's not too far-fetched to say that we can go to 75K or even below it. Because if we did a 50% crash, then that would bring our price down to, what is this, 55K? And that would be a 50% crash on one candlestick. So hypothetically speaking, if we did it how we did it before, back in 2021, then it could happen like that. But remember, there was much less money inside of the market back then, much less money. The institutional investors weren't as present but they were there. So if this one candlestick turns out to be a 50% candlestick, that would be crazy, and that would mark 55k. And as you can see up here, just so you can see, I have it set right here at the top of the candlestick, at the top of the wick up there. So that's a 50% drop right there. So I don't know if it's going to do what it did previously, but if it does 55k, I don't know what to say. 55k. So yeah, let's see if this is what it does. I don't think it will. I am marking 55k on here, but I don't think it will go down that far, just because I think we've came far inside the crypto market to where people are going to buy it up and probably wouldn't let it get that low. But anything can happen. The month is not over yet, so we'll see if that is the same case. But anyways, I think this time it will probably end up going down to 75k, which is a 32% drop, by the way. Oh yeah, if you didn't know, I actually have a huge record of 32% drops. So as you can see here on the whole rally, it's been a 32% drop, followed by some type of bullish structure. 32% drop by a bull flag, like I've been saying for almost the last year. 32% drop followed by a falling wedge, and then the current one, we've already kind of went past 32% from the all-time high, because that was down to 85k, and we've passed 85k, so we've already had the 32% drop. But this time we broke out. But what was different? We had bullish structure in the first pump, the bull flag. We had bullish structure in the second pump, the falling wedge, and you'll be able to see it better if I come to the weekly chart here. And then we had a bullish structure inside of, or no, we had bearish structure in the last one that we just had, which is why we are crashing. It was a bearish expanding triangle. And then we had a falling wedge. We kind of tried to save ourselves, but we couldn't. And then on the way down here, we entered into what we call a descending triangle just for a little bit. And then from there, it continued to break down after it broke out of that descending triangle to the downside. So I'm still tracking it. If we're talking super short term, I'm just looking at that hourly chart, because I usually get my videos out within like 30 minutes of making them. You can actually see it's completely oversold. It's ready to recover, but it's just not doing it. But remember, it's been ready to recover since earlier this month. You can see all of this. It's been ready to recover, but it's just not doing it. So anything that you do is a risk when it comes to trading this right now. It doesn't look like the MACD is slowing down, so we could still have selling pressure. And I'm personally waiting, because I think at anything 78k, but I'm really expecting 75. So yeah, this is what I got for you guys today. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Not only that, but one of the largest companies out there owning Bitcoin, BlackRock, their clients are dumping Bitcoin, as you can see here. And then it says, here's why analysts say the $3.8 billion ETF flush will only get worse. And just like I was saying, like, I do think we're going to see a nasty, nasty sell-off. But first we got it, the relief rally. But see, people are going to think, oh no, see, it was just a bear trap. Nah, it's not a bear trap. We might get that relief rally at 75k. And the relief rally could be something similar to 2021. Remember what I was telling you guys, the relief rally could be similar to where it drops 50%. And then it just starts pumping. This time we only dropped 32% so far. But it could be something serious where we drop more than 32%. But like I was saying, with the relief rally, if we do something like that, like we could have an immediate rise to the upside within like a month or two. And then we can completely dump from there. And if that happens again, it happened like that before, so we can get a nice relief rally here. I would say be careful on that relief rally. Be careful. When that relief rally comes around, be careful. But yeah, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, go ahead and become a member of the channel. As always, I'll be back with another video.